Just a quick note before we get started. I wrote a lot of this out, so feel free to listen to it like a podcast. Also, I'm 29, married with 2 children, and I've worked full-time in the AAA space for the last 6 months. I think that little bit of information helps provide some context for where I'm coming from and the things I'm going to encourage you with. And if you just need to hear one person say it to you today, stop scrolling, turn off the video, turn off YouTube, stop watching TikToks, stop watching Reels, stop wasting your life. Go and do what needs to get done. But if you came for something a little bit deeper, stick around. A lot of what I'm going to talk about in this video has solutions far outside the scope of this video. I'm just presenting these questions to you because these are things I had to struggle with. I found the main 2 root causes of a lack of motivation to be a healthy view of oneself and a lack of a proper support network. If you know who you want to be and you have people around you who are going to help you become that, you'll be motivated. Drawing is a passion of mine. It's what I feel like I was created on this earth to do. So I identify as an artist. But I'm also a husband, a father, a brother, a friend, and a son. That's my identity. Those are responsibilities I've both been given and taken on that can't be moved or shaken. Upon that, I call myself an artist. It doesn't supersede my family or my responsibility to the other people around me, but it is an incredibly high priority and driver for me. Who are you? Are you an artist? Do you love drawing? Or do you just like the thought, the aesthetic of being an artist? You need to answer these questions for yourself. Dig deep, find out what you want to do honestly, and pursue that. You can be flexible. Don't be single-minded about a job. Be single-minded about a passion that you enjoy doing. For me, I'm single-minded about being a good visual craftsman. Whether that's animation or games, illustration or comics, it doesn't matter. I just want to bring worlds to life with a pencil. That's what I love doing. Finding the root of why you're not motivated is the thing that's going to eventually re-motivate you. Is it because you're comfortable? Too stagnant? You're scared? Where did that come from? Is that from peers? Bullies? Parents? A few questions to ask yourself might help elucidate the issue. So let me ask you, why don't you want to draw? What's going through your mind when you talk yourself out of it? Simple, self-reflective statements like this can help illuminate where the blockage is. Whatever is stopping you from creating. What do you believe about yourself? What do you say about yourself? What do you want to do with your life? What do the people around you say to you and about you? If you know who you are, or you're figuring it out, or who you want to become, surrounding yourself with encouraging people calcifies that identity. If you find yourself in the presence of bad influences, disparaging influences, your identity can be rocked. This can be catastrophic to the life of an artist. Their passion is stifled. People don't believe in them. We as artists need some sort of external validation. That's why we want to show people our work. But don't just find friends who pendulum swing in the other direction, who will gas you up no matter what the situation is. Find friends, a community of people who are happy when you're happy, they celebrate when you celebrate, they congratulate you on your success rather than envy you, who hold you accountable for bad behavior, offer constructive criticism, not blind praise. They're going to help cultivate the person that you believe yourself to be. These are signs that people care about you. Creating community takes a lot of intentionality and effort. Add people to your circle who feed you artistically, who make you laugh, smile, and celebrate your victories. It might also mean removing people from your life who are headed in a completely different direction than you are. Find people whose direction align with yours. It might mean finding a new set of friends. It's a cliche for a reason, but I have found this to be consistently true throughout my life. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are you spending your time with? Do they give you life? Do they bring frustration? Do they belittle you? Do they make you angry? It's okay to have friends who go through a hard time. They're not able to be there for you completely. Friends should be reliable and responsible for one another. That's a sign of a healthy, good friendship. But if the overall trajectory is misaligned, it might be time to say goodbye to one another. And don't make excuses for them or yourself. Do not be an excuse generator. You only hurt yourself by playing the forever perpetual victim. You're also going to push people away who want to help you. You have to change that I can't to I can. The I don't to I haven't. You have to learn to fail privately. It's so difficult to learn how to do this, but you have to be okay making ugly art. If you're afraid of how your art looks, just don't show it to anyone. Not every piece of art needs to be social media worthy. You're learning, and you will fail on your way towards success. So don't be afraid of ugly art. And because art is primarily visual, unlike music, we feel this need to show other people, to feel seen. But musicians practice in silence, by themselves for hours, making ugly noises, in order to sound well. So be like a visual musician. It's okay to hit the wrong note sometimes. Start small, do some warm-ups, just some ellipses, and see where that leaves you. Your threshold will begin to increase and a work ethic will begin to form. And a work ethic is a thing that gets you out of bed to the paper. It transcends any job you take, any position at a company you have. You feel responsible to produce good work no matter where you are. This has to come from within, motivated by the way that you view your life. External motivators like money or success or fame will not give you a work ethic, and they're not going to have lasting effects either. There's a reason these figureheads of empowerment keep popping up, guys like Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, Jocko Willink, Andrew Huberman, Lex Fridman, because they empower people with responsibility to change their life with just habitual changes every day. All you have to do is make small habitual adjustments over time, and it's going to accumulate into you becoming a completely new person. With that being said, I'm not the kind of person who wakes up at 4 a.m. and needs to take cold showers to feel driven and motivated, but I am someone who wants to constantly grow and adapt and learn. Okay, so we've tackled identity and community as like two root causes of motivation. I'm going to give you some practical things you can do now. Because if you're like me, you like walking away from a learning experience with something actionable to do. Rubber meets the road type stuff. I like being told what to do and to try and do it and adapt someone's recommendations to my life. The first thing is mentorship. Expectation can be motivation. Having deadlines, homework assignments, learning in a structured environment like a mentorship, even attending local art classes give you accountability to get things done. Having a teacher who can speak to your weaknesses, give you regular insight into how to get better and where you need to improve is very encouraging. It also puts you in an environment, digital or physical, where you live and breathe the craft. It surrounds you with like-minded people who care about what they make, how they spend their time, and are driven to be better. Change your media diet, and it will change your creative health. Start listening to art podcasts, art YouTubers, and interviews with other professionals who do what you want to do. If you spend your time watching a bunch of things that don't feed your passion or motivate you, stop watching them. Cut it off. This includes not scrolling on Instagram, X, or ArtStation. If you can't healthily interact with another artist's work because it makes you envious or jealous, stop looking at it. It only hurts you and wastes your time. You could be drawing instead of doom viewing. Stop doing things that actually feed into the reason why you're not motivated and start building habits that motivate you. Here are a few podcast recommendations from me. The Draftsman Podcast with Stan Prokopenko and Marshall Vandruff. The Future Podcast with Chris Doe. And the SVS Learn podcast with Will Terry, Lee White, and Jake Parker. I'll leave links to all these resources in the description. Start calling your work projects rather than pieces. Give yourself a deadline and have an end goal for each project. When you get bored of one project, start another. But I wouldn't recommend leaving too many unfinished or they're going to stagnate and you're going to get demotivated again. And remember that finishing one project is almost like a domino effect. Every time you finish something, it dominoes into giving you that feeling of success. And it'll make you want to finish more things and create more stuff. Think of it more like cooking a meal in the kitchen. You're keeping the burners on and shifting pans around is needed to keep different parts of the meal simmering and hot. Shifting from a piece to project mentality also elevates the work that you do. It's no longer another drawing, it's a portfolio project, it's a concept art project, it's a world building exercise. The work becomes more valuable simply by changing how you present, think, and talk about it. And speaking of how to think about your work, there are 2 books by Cal Newport you should read. Now, Cal Newport is not a self-help guru. He's an MIT-trained computer science professor at Georgetown University. That's what it says on his website. His writings are incredibly approachable, accessible, and frankly, I think they're necessary. The first is Deep Work, which completely changed how I approach deliberate practice and getting the hardest work in my life accomplished. The second is So Good They Can't Ignore You. It's all about achieving excellence by honing a craft. These books delve into developing good working habits, how to organize your time and mental energy, and be someone dedicated to the craft. And lastly, stop playing video games. Believe it or not, video games, despite how inspiring they are, really leave you feeling hollow and vacuous after a long session. They trade in real success, skill, and effort for fraudulent feelings of achievement and progress. They did for me anyways. I told myself, if I want to make games, I can't be playing them. And I played a lot of video games, probably in the tens of thousands of hours across my lifetime. It's probable I've lost over literally a year of my entire life to playing video games. You might have better moderation skills than I did, but I had to turn to third-party software called FocusMe to get my game playing under control. Now I don't want to play games anymore. I want to draw, and that's where I wanted to be a few years ago. So if you're like me, it might be worth considering investing in software or something to really lock your computer down, or deleting Steam or something to just get rid of that thing in your life that's preventing you from creating. I stumbled upon a TED Talk the other day about how we spend our time on social media. I want you to listen to a few key moments from it.
This is an optimistic estimate of the months that you have left. About a third of that time is going to be spent sleeping. 126 of those months will go to school and your career. About 18 will be spent driving, 36 cooking and eating, 36 doing chores and errands, about 27 in the bathroom. So that leaves you with 334 months. How you spend this time is going to determine the quality of your life. The body, mind, and character that you will have in the future are being actively shaped by how you choose to use your time today. Today, the average 18-year-old in the United States is on pace to spend 93% of their remaining free time looking at a screen.
You want to get motivated? Contemplate your mortality, your life and your death. It's a terrifyingly short endeavor we've been given. Do you really want to spend 93% of your remaining time behind a screen, pretending you're living somebody else's life, or even worse, living a life that isn't even tangible? I don't. I won't. I hope you won't either. Nobody can live your life but you. If you're not motivated, find out why and deal with it. It's mission critical. This is your life. Embrace difficult things. View yourself as valuable, someone whose contributions are worthwhile, so you can live a life that only you have. The video is going to end with snippets of some of my favorite motivational quotes, speeches, contemplations. Thanks for listening. You can do it.
If you have an idea of what you want to make, what you were put here to do, then just go and do that. And that's much harder than it sounds, and sometimes in the end so much easier than you might imagine. Because normally there are things you have to do before you can get to the place you want to be. Something that worked for me was imagining that where I wanted to be. Imagining that was a mountain, a distant mountain, my goal. And I knew that as long as I kept walking towards the mountain, I'd be all right. And when I truly was not sure what to do, I could stop and think about whether it was taking me towards or away from the mountain. When you start out, you have to deal with the problems of failure. You need to be thick-skinned to learn that not every project will survive. The problems of failure, the problems of discouragement, of hopelessness, of hunger. You want everything to happen and you want it now, and things go wrong. The things I did because I was excited and wanted to see them exist in reality have never let me down, and I've never regretted the time I spent on any of them.
Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going. So it was just a question of how do you do it? I was so relieved, because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy. You've got to have a purpose no matter what you do in life. You've got to have a purpose.
Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. If you don't fail, you're not even trying." My wife told me this great expression: to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. So the question is, what are you going to do with what you have?
Nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
I know that there's a spectrum of experiences that we all have in terms of how we're brought up, that our parents, sometimes well-meaning, sometimes not even well-intentioned, and we suffer through that. there may be moments, even in the darkness, and even if you've had to deal with abuse or drugs or just whatever you've had to deal with, there's still glimmers of happiness in there somewhere. It may require greater effort for you to find it. So just do your best to kind of push past the dark memories and the bad moments in your life and just try to find the glimmers of excitement or hope. And if you come up empty, there's nothing there, just think about today, like what is it that you love to do? When nobody's watching and nobody cares, what is it you love to do? We need to step back and start to tie in as many things as possible so we can get to your ikigai, your reason for being. The magical part is when you're able to do this, you'll never be late for work again. You'll never feel work is a chore. You will do something that you love and you'll make money doing it.
We all have a fire in us, whether you are aware of this fire or not. It doesn't change the fact that humans are born with an innate desire to improve. The problem is that over time, we suffocate this fire. The average American spends 3 to 4 hours on a phone each day. What could you do with this amount of time? Who could you become? What could you do? What impact could you make? Most humans will go to their graves without having answered these questions. If you feel you should do something or desire to do something that matters, that is worth doing, resistance comes. We live in a soft world where you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. The existence of resistance cripples us. When you see a successful person in any domain, there is no doubt they have been pursuing discomfort for a very long time. They sucked once, they got uncomfortable, kept at it, and then they started to suck a little bit less. Over time, they went from sucking to decent. After they were decent, they became good. They then went from good to great, and finally to world class. The key is daily over decades.
I wish you luck. Luck is useful. Often you will discover that the harder you work and the more wisely that you work, the luckier you will get. But there is luck, and it helps. Someone asked me recently how to do something she thought was going to be difficult. And I suggested she pretend that she was someone who could do it. And now go and make interesting mistakes, make amazing mistakes, make glorious and fantastic mistakes, break rules, leave the world more interesting for your being here. Make good art. Thank you.